So welcome, everyone. My name is Mary Lou. I'm the mayor of the city of Issaquah, and very excited to be here today with two new, less than a year, strong community leaders. Cannot believe that Julie and Heather have been here less than 1 year. Amazing. Welcome. So fun to share the podium with you this morning and also to welcome you to this amazing community, my home of 30 years. I just love it here. I know that the council members were introduced earlier, but of course I'm going to put you on the spot again and ask you to stand because it's hard just to see with your hand. I do want all of the community members that are here and businesses to know that they're all here to answer your questions after. It is very rare to get this many council members in the room together. So thank you all for your service. Thank you for being here today and all the work that you do for our community. So at the start of each year, our city pauses to reflect on what we've accomplished over the last 12 months and to look what we have to look forward to accomplishing this year. Issaquah just recently celebrated our 130th birthday as a city, and we even put together a time capsule with your help and the community's help, and we buried it along the Rainier Trail, where it will stay until the year 2050. The time capsule will allow future generations to see some mementos of what life was like in the last 30 years, and in particular, the last 2 years, which were very different for our community. The project also gave us a chance to really understand where we are as a city. And for some communities, little may change over the course of a few decades, but for us, as you heard from the superintendent, a lot has changed in Issaquah over the last few decades. If we look back 30 years ago to 1990, we were just completing the police station down at 130 East Sunset Way. Home construction had begun in the Issaquah Highlands. That was our first urban village, and there were still no stores, restaurants, or Swedish hospital. At that time, Issaquah was facing a tremendous amount of change, and by 2003, our city was named the fastest growing community in the state. So now it's 2023. Our region is still growing at a significant pace, and we are managing a different kind of transition. This is a time of reimagining and re-envisioning what happens on the valley floor around I-90. Redevelopment is much more challenging to do and to do well than new development in open green areas. So how do we protect Issaquah to keep it special while we know that we still have to plan for more growth to come? A lot of what we have worked on in the last 12 months puts these key pieces in place for that future so that we can match what businesses and residents hope to see. So as we talk about some of our accomplishments today and what goals we have from the upcoming year, you'll hear a common thread. Our community is so lucky to be gifted with forested hillsides, creeks, lakes, abundant wildlife, a fabulous school system, a wonderful business community. And we need to highlight and enhance all that we treasure for future generations and still be strategic and effective in our future planning. I'm really excited that the school district is embarking on their first strategic plan. And in my first term as mayor, our city also did the same thing. These can be great North Stars for what is coming next. So excited for the school district on that. I also want to acknowledge the many Coast Salish tribes here that existed long before our city. And I want to strive to work to protect this amazing landscape that they also cherish and that is the centerpiece of the quality of life that we enjoy today. So looking out at this room full of business leaders, it's important we talk about our work addressing social and economic vitality. And first, what I'd like to do is see if there are any businesses in the audience that are new as of the last year or planning to open in the next year. I wonder if we could get you to stand just so we can see who we've got in the room. Fantastic. My personal appreciation for you choosing Issaquah for your business location. Thank you so much. We have been seeing new businesses coming to town even through COVID. And it's hard to start up. So thank you very much for picking Issaquah. We welcomed a number of new or updated businesses to our community in the last few years. Big Picture, Arena Sports, Family Entertainment Center, Tipsy Cow, Wall of Books. Paseos, 55 Sunset Cafe, TerraClear, Chick's Shoes, Out of the Box Eco Store, and Stretch Labs, just to name a few of the new businesses who have joined our community. It's exciting to see that people are making the commitment to conduct business in our city, and we want to wish them all success in their endeavors. The city continues to work closely with the business community. Last year, we helped them attract new employees through hosted job fairs and held our first business leadership forum to hear directly from business owners like yourself about what matters most to your success. So mark your calendars. The next business leadership forum will be on May 10th from 8 to 9:30 a.m. at Blakely Hall up in the Highlands. And it's an opportunity to speak directly to the city, hear about community resources, and connect with business owners. The city invested in the Small Business Flex Fund state program that helped to provide low-interest loans to small and medium-sized businesses in Issaquah, and over $500,000 in loans that were used to create and support 20 new jobs. We've adjusted to the changing business landscape of the past few years, but one thing remains consistent: our focus on communication with businesses and business organizations like our amazing chamber. We need to do this to best understand what it is you need to be successful and what opportunities are there for you, but also what challenges you are facing. So communication from the city to businesses is ongoing, and the city experimented last year with the way we communicate with residents about businesses by adding a new podcast to our tool. Issaquah Buzz aims to provide residents more awareness of what's happening in the community as it relates to business and development. And I think we have two of our podcasters here, Jen and Autumn. Do you want to stand up and say hi? Anybody who, thank you. Anybody who has not heard of our podcast, you can find lots of interesting videos on the Issaquah YouTube channel. But thank you too very much for all the work you're putting into this. Turning over to social vitality, our human services strategic plan is centered around the vision of Issaquah as a welcoming, inclusive, equitable, and just community, with a broad range of social services where every person is respected and where meeting basic human needs is a shared responsibility. As you can imagine, during COVID, we've had to change the way we do things. And to that end, we have enhanced our human services team with homeless outreach program to help connect residents to the services they need and transition out of homelessness. Last year, our team was able to help 27 unhoused community members in Issaquah secure permanent housing. They worked that's amazing. They worked really hard to connect people in our community with over 900 different service connections made, including temporary shelter, basic needs, health insurance, behavioral and physical health treatment, employment, transportation, identification, and legal assistance. And our work is not done. We have many challenges to overcome, but the success stories of new jobs and safe shelter we hear from our human services team fills me with great pride. We also heard from the community that safety was critical when it comes to overall quality of life in Issaquah. In 2022, we conducted a nationwide search for our city's next police chief. And I'm so excited that our team selected Commander Schwan of our police force to be our new police chief. And I see her hiding at the back, so we'll get her to stand up. Welcome, Paula. Congratulations. And just a shout out to her table mate, our new Eastside Fire and Rescue Chief is also here. Ben, why don't you stand up as well? Thank you to both of you and your amazing teams for all you do to keep our community safe. It's wonderful having both of you. We know how much our community values public safety. We've also started a new monthly retail loss prevention meeting series for the business community to hear public safety trends from our chief and to share information between retailers. This has become a great resource for businesses to learn from others about what has and hasn't worked in what is one of our most difficult times. Our economic development team is also here today, and I really applaud them for their work in this area. I attended the Attorney General's Organized Retail Crime Task Force yesterday, and while I was in D.C. on Monday, I was able to bring this up with our senators, that this is an ongoing and difficult challenge for many of our businesses and property owners, and this is not okay. That this is a high priority for me. This is not the new normal. This has to change. I asked the governor's task force yesterday. They're having their last meeting in July, and I said, I think we need to have it 2 years from now. We have not got our arms around this beast, and we have a whole lot more work to do. Many of our neighboring jurisdictions are still facing large officer shortages, but I did want to let you know today that due to the hard work of our chief and her recruiting team, Issaquah is back to near full staffing levels for the first time in many, many years. Thank you, Paula. Having a robust police team will allow us to focus on our community policing goals, like targeted theft protection and the return of community programs, and more data that we can share with our community. Please talk with the chief about some of the new communications tools she's using. She's had some fabulous ideas, like the recent launch of our police crime blotter, and we haven't had one of those in probably a decade. It's very popular among our residents. The city has not only succeeded in filling key positions within the police department, but organization-wide, which many of you in this room can attest is no easy thing to do in this particular employment market. But I want to say thank you for the hard work of our human services team. We've been able to fill many open positions as well as many new critical roles by hiring 90 exceptionally talented people just since the start of 2022. And we won't stop there. The city is building a new comprehensive employee retention strategy as well. We've hired the best, and I don't want Redmond or Kirkland or Bellevue to steal them. And so now it's up to us to make sure they stay and serve our community here. This is best highlighted by the fact that we have supported the growth and development of staff through 24 internal promotions just in the last 12 months. Our team is getting stronger. Our team is getting better. So when reflecting on our current city team, I'm filled with confidence and community pride. Our employees empathize deeply with our community members and provide exceptional public service. There's truly no better team for me to work with. As the community continues to recover from the pandemic, we're also looking for new ways to engage in person. Finally, like today. Thank you to the Chamber for this amazing event. So as a start, the council has started last year with City Council community listening sessions in different neighborhoods within the city, bringing government out into the community where people already are. It's a great opportunity for the city to share neighborhood-specific updates for our residents while listening to feedback from our community members. So far, these outreach events have been a success, and we aim to continue them in 2023. We're actually having one later tonight. I look forward to seeing some of you at Central Issaquah residents and others at Atlas Apartments at 6:30 p.m. Council will be in the lobby along with staff to share some information and hear what's going on in our community. Hardly anything the city does is as foundational as planning for how land and space within our community can be used. In partnership with the community and our boards and commissions, we are in the home stretch of updating our citywide land use code. This is a task that I had wanted to accomplish and that I burdened my council and my community and team with, but it was something that was long overdue. No city takes on their entire land use code at one time. So I really owe a great debt of gratitude to our council for agreeing to do this and for our staff and community for working through this process. But I'm a little bit of a geek about land use, and this was super important to me that we get this job done. So much of what we did in 2022 can be tied to just that one huge task. It's called Title 18. It'll help us better preserve, strengthen, and protect the patterns of development that define the character in our city. And I'm proud of the work so far on this massive undertaking. We should be able to celebrate by finalizing this process within the next month or two. Diversifying housing options in Issaquah is a critical goal for me. I think the superintendent did a good job talking about some of the reasons why it is hard for young families to come to town. So I'm thrilled to announce that a few months ago, the City Council approved pivotal agreements that will help create more than 175 affordable housing units adjacent to the Issaquah Transit Center and Tibbetts Valley Park. This program will provide 1,000 This project has been very, very long in the making. I have one council member who's probably been here with me from the beginning, but very proud that we are close to crossing the end line on this transit-oriented development, or TOD, as we call it in the city. It can address critical human services needs identified in our Housing Action Strategy Plan, as well as Issaquah's Human Services Strategic Plan. So working with the King County Housing Authority, which has purchased the property, this mixed-use project will serve as a catalyst for increasing housing opportunities and affordable housing right within our central Issaquah district, the area on both sides of I-90 where we expect to see the majority of our future growth. It will increase transit usage, it will create a vibrant, pedestrian-friendly environment, and it will provide a space for an opportunity center holding essential human services that are needed within our community. So I'm very thankful to our dedicated team who've been working for more than 5 years, I'm going to say closer to 6 or 7, on this incredibly complex project. And I look forward to celebrating this vision becoming a reality. So no update on our work at the city would be complete without addressing environmental stewardship. We adopted our first ever climate action plan at the end of 2021 and then set out to start achieving the goals. Born from community feedback, the Climate Action Plan creates the blueprint for sustainable, livable Issaquah while reducing greenhouse gas emissions and protecting the local natural environment. We've made large strides on progress since adoption, all of which are tracked in our climate dashboard on our website. But 2 programs are really worth highlighting. We recently partnered with other East Side cities and multiple community partners to offer a heat pump program. Residents can learn about this highly energy-efficient heating and cooling upgrade for their homes through workshops and receive expert assistance if they choose to participate. To ensure we're being equitable, we want to make sure this opportunity is open for all, and the City Council committed funding to support installations in affordable housing complexes, and work is underway in partnership with Imagine Housing and the King County Housing Authority. Using both the city and grant funding, we are launching a new phase of this program this month that will provide free installations for community members with low income and additional rebates for those with moderate income. Our sustainability and economic development teams have also been working with local businesses when it comes to Washington State clean building standards. Through our Clean Buildings Incentive Program, we support building owners' efforts to reduce energy use, leverage financial incentives for energy efficiency projects, or to help their buildings comply with upcoming performance standards. Both our heat pump and clean building programs are already assisting the Issaquah community members, helping them to upgrade their homes and buildings with energy-efficient solutions, helping to reduce our contributions to climate change and prepare for the impacts. We know we need to be more resilient. So building upon our recent accomplishments, now it's time to turn to what's next. I want to take a moment to talk about some of our city and council's larger 2023 priorities. As we finalize our land use code update, staff are moving directly into another huge endeavor, the comprehensive plan. In a nutshell, the comprehensive plan is a 20-year vision and roadmap for Issaquah. All cities do this within our state. The most recent version was published in 2015, and we review and update that plan every 8 years. Our goal with this update is to ensure that we are moving toward the same long-term goals. Throughout, I think, the country in the last few years, we have noticed that there were several lenses that were not in place when we did former big planning. Equity, diversity and inclusion, climate action and resiliency. These are lenses that we will be bringing to this comprehensive plan update that we weren't even really talking about very much in 2015. We'll also be updating the Economic Development Action Plan later this year, and we hope that many of you here today will engage with us in that process and help shape our future efforts. Our upcoming business-related efforts include partnering with the Chamber to create a series of business success classes focused on starting and running a business in Issaquah. We also look forward to the Chamber's Regional Business Summit next month. In October, the Washington Festival and Events Association, for the first time, is hosting their annual conference here in Issaquah, thanks to the help of our destination marketing organization, Visit Issaquah. The breakout sessions will be held at various downtown businesses and represent a very unique and creative way to host network connections between visiting guests and our businesses. We don't have a convention center, but we have some of the most fabulous meeting spaces. They are just spread throughout the town. Really thankful for this very creative and innovative idea. And turning to Issaquah's facilities, our public safety operations, both our police and municipal court, are driving the city's future needs. In brief, our current police station does not meet the needs of a 21st century department. In addition, our court, which is operated from an old fire station currently, and is the council chambers as well, desperately needs more space. While assessing our future space needs, we also reached out to the community to see what the public needs are. And we heard loud and clear, much more indoor meeting space is necessary. As a next step, we're formulating options for our council for how to ensure that the public safety needs are met, along with planning for our future city hall space. And we want to make sure that we can leverage the spaces that are enjoyed by our community. So please stay tuned for some announcements later this year. We also just completed our first biennial budget last year, and the fiscal outlook for the 2023-24 biennium looks very encouraging. Due to responsible budgeting through this pandemic, we are much more financially stable than many of our peer cities. We continue to monitor economic trends and are always exploring creative solutions for long-term fiscal sustainability. Revenues for the city have rebounded, thanks to a robust recovery in the retail sector, as well as restaurants and food businesses. We have a strong return to business activity and continued strength in our construction sector. This will allow us to make significant progress on city initiatives, including public safety, human services, housing and infrastructure, and these will benefit our residents and businesses for years to come. Even with that strong financial position, there are so many important projects that we as a city are planning for, but we do not yet have the resources to complete. So as a result, it's important that we develop a capital improvement plan, very similar to what the school district does. It's a multi-year strategy that helps us organize and construct major infrastructure projects. In 2023, we plan to implement a new process to prioritize projects that utilize additional lenses, such as equity, to ensure that our future list of projects really truly reflects the community's needs. This planning is made more effective thanks to our commitment to improving our data and metric tracking. Heather, you brought so much data today. I'm an engineer. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm sure my council and administration is tired of hearing me say it, but data tells the story. I want to be a data-informed community, so thank you for that. We have several new dashboards on our website that show how we are performing against our stated goals in our strategic plan. So our goal is to be viewed as a data-informed and outcome-driven organization. We're currently drafting a plan to utilize the expertise of our community through a volunteer data analytics task force to ensure our organization implements best practices and future-proofs the city's effort. So more to come on that area. Our community loves our park system. It's one of Issaquah's prized treasures. Our team is currently working on plans to update Pedestrian Park, which is located at the corner of Front Street and Sunset, and Senior Center plazas in Old Town. So when I came to town in 1993, the Senior Center was actually the Issaquah Library. And then the Issaquah King County came in and built a beautiful new library, and it's now currently our Senior Center. So there'll be some fantastic amenities added into that area. I want to thank everyone for the feedback that we got from the community, residents and businesses through our surveys and open houses earlier this year, and we will be using $3.2 million of the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds, to redesign these areas to match our long-term vision of what this key component of our city's park system looks like. Our goal is to begin construction by the end of the year, and I'm super excited because you got to spend the dollars or you lose it. So we're going to get something done. There's going to be some ribbons to cut, and that is super exciting. Finally, it's awesome. So our region is getting ready to see 2 new sections of light rail open in the next year or two, bringing Shoreline, Mercer Island, Bellevue, and Redmond into the light rail network. It's our duty to continue to prepare for the arrival of light rail in our city. From proactive planning in Central Issaquah to coordinating closely with regional entities, we remain focused on this project. knowing that multimodal options are critical to the future of our community's success. And again, shout out to our council for approving $1 million in ARPA funds to begin those conversations far ahead of the actual project. So thank you very much. It's important to note that all of these priorities stem from careful planning and significant community engagement. We are always looking for more community members to provide their important and diverse perspectives. So while standing before such an impressive group of community leaders today, here's my pitch. Please come and join our team. Please get involved. A great start is applying for any of our boards and commissions, which actively help shape our future and inform so much of the work that we do. Our community is so much stronger when we're all in it together. So I want to take a moment to thank our city council, our board and commission members and staff for their work. The residents of this community, the businesses of this community benefit from your tireless commitment to public service in our city. And I wonder if we could have any of our board and commission members and our council members just stand up again so we can give you one last round of applause. And my city staff. A lot of city staff here today. Amazing turnout today. Thank you so much. So just in closing, I just want to talk about how amazing it is to be able to do my State of the City here in person in front of you with two amazing new leaders in our community. So.